on the wrong side.
Out to Minnesota. Mark Jones,
and the great Hubie
Brown, George Sedano, take it away. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Not you.
Get nuts. Why, you ask? Because of the success of the team so far. Welcome, everyone, to NBA Courtside, presented by DoorDash. Success, part of the backdrop for this game tonight for Minnesota against the visiting San Antonio Spurs. Look at that, folks. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been in first place for 16 days in the Western Conference. That's the most in over 20 years. And they plan on staying in first place, if you ask them, for a little bit longer as well. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones. Chop it up with the Hall of Famer, Hubie Brown. George Sedano tapping in just a moment. Hubie, let's start with the excitement that surrounds this franchise right now. Minnesota has the #1 defense in the NBA, but offensively, they've got first-time All-Star Anthony Edwards and 3-time All-Star Karl Anthony Towns, looking like he did before the injury last year.
Yeah, I like this style of play. It is emphasizing the two players that we're talking about. They're backing it up with not only the points, 26 and 22. How about the shooting percentages? Excellent. And then the three-point shooting, because both of them take 5 to 6 threes a game. Then you have a rebounding guard to help out your front line. Now, Towns is giving you 9 there. So it's an excellent contribution by your two-star offensive players.
George Sedano, they are strong and long on that front line.
There's no question about that, Jonesy, and Rudy Gobert has had a resurgence here. Last year was a bit of a challenge. I think the team underestimated that he spent all his career in Utah, and just a new environment would be a little bit of a challenge for him. Last year, they were also doing some things that were very similar to the way he played in Utah. And the defense, they were actually playing two different styles of defense when Rudy was in and when Rudy was out. This year, Chris Finch simplified that, their head coach, by saying, hey, we're going to go to a traditional style defense where we're going to rotate, and that means Rudy's going to have to guard in space at times, and they have flourished with their defense this season, Jonesy.
Yeah, he has been much more comfortable with the Timberwolves this year, and it's showing on the floor. Hubie, let's switch gears, talk about the visitors tonight, the San Antonio Spurs. There's no easy way to say it. They're in a bad way right now. They've lost 14 consecutive games, just 3 wins on the season. But amongst the growing pains, the one star has been Victor Wembanyama, the rookie, who has checked a lot of boxes for them.
Well, you love it. #1 draft, 19 years old. He's only playing 30 minutes. He gets an education every night, and especially tonight with 2 7-footers in the painted area. Now, the shooting percentage, the points are good. The shooting percentage is a little low. The rebounding is excellent, and then the block shots are excellent. The main thing with him is he attempts a number of threes a game, and unfortunately, he's only shooting 27%. I would say that's the biggest disappointment, the big eye-opener. But he's coming, he's learning every night.
It's been a very steep learning curve for the rookie from France. We actually have a couple of Frenchmen going head-to-head. They both played for the national team. Gobert met Wembanyama as a 13-year-old and has mentored him. It's teacher against pupil when we come back.
NBA Courtside on ESPN is presented by DoorDash, the official partner of the NBA.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
I've known Victor since he was 13, so I kind of watched him grow.
His approach, his dedication, the work that he puts in the last 3 months since the draft is paying off.
Hey, we some different breeds and I stand on it. Yeah. Add it up, shooting threes and I slam on them. Please do not reach, I got wingspan on it.
Wembanyama, the 8-foot reach.
He's a competitor. He wants to win, and for me, like, I try to give him as much knowledge as I can.
It feels special, you know, over the years, trying to take care of me, and it's even more special.
Watching block shots, kind of look like me a little bit.
Victor rejects that one against his fellow Frenchman.
Yeah, baby, I've been problem. I'm a problem, that's for sure. If I ain't on the court, then I ain't going back and forth.
Inside, Gobert! The hammer! Oh, Mama Wembanyama! He's a threat to dunk it every single time he's in the paint.
He's unique, and he knows that he can be in the league of his own.
Welcome, everyone, to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm from Minneapolis, where the Timberwolves are off to a historically great start in terms of their franchise beginning 15-4, tops in the Western Conference. And Karl-Anthony Towns doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Victor Wembanyama at 29 last time out against San Antonio. Let's take a look at these starting lineups. First of all, for San Antonio, head coach Greg Popovich has shuffled the deck a little bit. Devin Vassell back in the starting lineup. Cedi Osman getting the start in place of Jeremy Sohan. Wembanyama, Collins, and Keldon Johnson, last year's leading scorer, rounding out the starting five. Meanwhile, for the hometown crew, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards in the starting backcourt. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert at the 5 for Minnesota. The Timberwolves coming off a win on Saturday against New Orleans, and San Antonio Spurs losing on Friday. They haven't played in a while, so they should be, if nothing else, well rested. Getting a look at Anthony Edwards for the first time in a couple of games. He has missed the last two because of a hip injury, and Hubie, it's going to be interesting to see how he moves up and down the court. He's usually so dynamic.
Well, just think about it. He's averaging 26 points. He's shooting a solid 46 and 38 in the two main areas. But more important, he's added a better defense, not only individually, but team defense.